Nice, nice, nice.
That's the only way I can afford it. Good afternoon, good evening, everyone. We are super excited about coming to you tonight. We want to spend just a little time with you, just making sure everybody's okay. My name is Sonya T, and I am your transition coach. I'm so excited that you all decided to join us tonight. We're going to have a great conversation, and it is my total honor and I'm just overjoyed to have one of my very good friends, Vivian Burrell, on with me tonight. She's a licensed clinical social worker as well, and she's an ordained minister. Boy, we got it going on tonight. Do you hear me? I am so excited to have you on tonight, Vivian.
Good evening. I am absolutely happy to be here. I hope everyone is well. It is a blessing to be able to talk to you this evening and see you face to face, Sonya.
I know. And we've been saying we're going to go out to dinner. We hadn't gotten it done, and then this happened, so we can't go out to dinner. But it's just so good to see you, see your smiling face. You are just one classy lady, and I love you dearly.
It is good company, my friend, good company. I'm so happy, in spite of everything, those things that God has ordained, it happens, right?
Yes,
so
yes.
We are here tonight, and hopefully it will shed some insight to a lot of people. I appreciate you inviting me.
Yes. I am just want to give people a couple of minutes to get on, and then we're going to jump right into our topic. Just talking about mental health and talking about really how people are doing with what's going on. Let me turn myself down so that I can watch and see who's on. I see Janine is on. Hello, Janine. How are you? I would ask that you would share our conversation tonight. We're excited about what's going to happen tonight. We are going to, I think, be very impactful. I really believe that because of the hiccups we had prior to getting on. So it's like, what is going on? The enemy doesn't want this to take place. But I'm just excited, and I believe the Lord is going to move even through our time together. Even though we're not necessarily talking about the Bible, I think people are going to be helped tremendously tonight. Hello, Evelyn, Danielle, thank you so much for your service, my friend, my niece. You are indeed a lifesaver. If you would share the time and the broadcast tonight. Hey, Elder Tommy, how are you? If you ladies would share the broadcast, we're going to get started, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get started in just a few minutes. Hello, Lady Victoria from Dallas. Oh my! Oh, come on, girl. From Dallas. So we're excited. Hello, Pastor Carla, Prophetess Carla. We're glad that you're on. If you all would share, we will. We're going to go ahead and get started. So we're going to talk about many things tonight. We're just not just focusing on mental health, even though mental health is important, but we will go wherever the topic takes us and the conversation takes us. So if you have questions while I'm talking, if you would go ahead and put your questions up. Hello, LaTanya, and I will make sure. Hey, Timothy and Anita. I'll make sure that we try to get your questions in. So Vivian Hunter, put your hat on because we got a lot of people on tonight.
I'm holding on tight.
Let's talk a little bit about mental health. I know that in our community, this is just a touchy subject. We don't like to talk about it. And all you got to do is pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Ain't nothing happening to you. But people I don't think they don't realize, just like we have physical health, we have mental health. Just like sometimes our physical health can get a little off and sometimes we need medication, it's the exact same thing with our mental health. I think we get so confused We say, you know, what goes on in the house stays in the house. That's not always good. It's not always helpful to us. And sometimes our bootstraps are just not big enough to pull out, or long enough to pull
Right.
ourselves up. I like to tell people, just when the doctor said you have high blood pressure, that was a physical illness, and we had to search for the right prescription, the right drug to help me with that. We didn't just try one drug and it didn't work and we just stopped and said, well, we're not going to do anything. No, we kept trying drugs until we found the right one. So we can't negate our mental health, you know, just because mama said you just deal with that on your own. You just pray about it and let it go.
Exactly. And the good thing about mental health is much like what you said with medication. You don't just stop with the first thing that's
Mhm.
prescribed to you, right?
Mhm,
With our
mhm.
mental health, it's our state of well-being. So
Yes.
we are made up of many facets. And so there's a number of things that will get us to a state of well-being. It is our physical, it is our
Yes.
emotional,
Yes.
it is all those things that make us up. And so we have to pay particular attention to
Mhm.
what's not working, what is,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Yes. And we can't be afraid to say, you know what, something is a little off with me. Something is not right. I can't put my finger on it. Maybe I need to see someone. There is nothing wrong with that. You know what I say, or I got this from my niece, really. Everybody needs Jesus and a good therapist.
I think you won't get any denial from me. My nephew always tell me, Auntie, you think everyone needs therapy? You're trying to keep yourself in business. Just the opposite. Just the opposite. Therapy and talking to someone, a life coach, is an investment in you.
Yes. Yes.
That other person can't get anything more than what you're getting out of it. It's an investment in you. And the truth be told, we all know that there's something a little off with all of us from time
Mhm.
to time.
Mhm.
It doesn't mean anything organic, perhaps, and perhaps it is, but it's just like a well-oiled machine.
Mhm.
Sometimes when it works for a long period of time, it gets clogged. And so
Mhm.
we need to address that clog. It's nothing wrong with it. Matter of fact, I tell most of the people I talk to, it's very insightful that you catch it at the beginning stages rather than it wear on you and you're
Yeah.
not in space to receive the kind of help that you need.
Yeah, absolutely. And since I've been in the school system, I have been just amazed at how many things our young people are going through. And sometimes the parents are in denial, and sometimes the parents are saying, you know, let me see what I can do to help my baby. It's a real issue. And it's okay. It's a part of us. It's a part of who we are. It's a part of our being. God made us emotional. That's how he made us. And some people can handle it better than others. When I think about what's going on in our world right now,
Mm,
it has really thrown us all a curveball. I have never stayed in my house so much at one period of time. But a lot of people are having so many emotional issues with this. Some people are able to navigate it, keep themselves busy, or engage in other things. But there are a lot of people that are having difficulties. There's some people that are having a little anxiety with being home, or having to watch the kids the entire time, or even having to help the kids with their work, their
absolutely.
homework. But it's the anxiety of the unknown has I think taken us for a loop. You want to talk a little bit about that?
It has. So some of the testament from my life, I want to just share. So we had spring break at my school, and immediately we were thrown into, you have to get all of your classes online. Those of you who know me know that I am a resident teacher. I love the classroom. And so that is my briar patch. I love that. But to put everything online was not my wheelhouse. And so it provided me not only with the space of the unknown, but the unknown of when I go outside, the unknown. I have other people in my home that's utilizing internet. So all of these things that I couldn't control kind of added to that level of what was going outside with that unseen kind of thing, right? So the first thing for me, Sonya, I had to acknowledge you're not in your place of control. Once I acknowledged that, it allowed me to release the fact that I had to know every step. That I offer to all of the people that I'm working with, acknowledge it first. Acknowledge this is a change. One of my things that I've shared with my students is the fact that priorities have now been shifted, downsized. We're dealing with crisis. And when you're dealing with a crisis, you're in survival mode. That in and of itself puts you at a higher level of anxiety and a level of using up that energy you not normally would use, right? So acknowledge that, and then find some way to be able to say, now that I don't have control, what do I do?
Yes, absolutely. There are so many of us, myself included, just a control freak. I need to know what's coming next. I need to know what's coming down the road. It's one of the reasons why I didn't even go into private practice, because I needed to have the regular paycheck I need to know how much I'm gonna get every 2 weeks. I can't wing it. I'm not good at winging.
I love your honesty, and it does though. But with all of the things that we can control, and feeling so much like, as you said, the unknown and the uncertain. Once we recognize I don't have to have the answer, one of my favorite places is to say, let's see how it goes today.
Yeah.
For your students, for my students, don't be afraid to let them see the emotion.
Yes, even with our parents, I think when we're dealing with, and what this really is a transition, when we're dealing with major transitions in our lives, we gotta let our kids see us for who we are. We can't hide. It's like, we can't show any emotions to our kids. That's not true. You gotta man up. Men aren't supposed to cry. That's not true. That's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
I love that. And it's so, I love, as I've spoken to you offline and before, transition is truly your purpose, that it has been gifted to you. But none like now that we recognize, just as I was saying about the first step is acknowledgement, knowing that we're transitioning step by step, stage by stage, right? Once I acknowledge it, now what? What do I do? I have to allow myself to be human. I have to say, I don't know what to do now.
Yes.
Be okay with that.
Yes. And even if parents are listening and you have children, talk to your children honestly on the level that they can understand, and let them know, this is new for all of us, but and include them as you make create new norms for your household. Include them in the process. Don't make it all in a vacuum and say, this is what we're going to do. Include them. What do you think? When you are having conversations with your children, let them express what's going on with them. I was talking to my niece the other day, and she was talking about her daughter, and she said once she really sat down and talked with the 7-year-old, she did not realize she knew as much as she knew and was concerned about as much as she was concerned about.
Exactly. We don't. And so, once you get a chance, it's so good that you brought that up, that you get a chance to talk about those things. So in my house, there's 3 working rooms. I'm in my office. My husband is in the downstairs office, and my son is in his room doing his work. But what I found, I think one of our coping mechanisms is that we all need to sync up on our brakes so that we can say, what's going on with us at this moment?
Yes.
I think if parents can put a snack on the dining room table or a centrally located place and sync up, at 10:30 is our break. We're going to take a break at 10:30 a.m. and talk about how we're feeling right now. Do the same thing, maybe 2:33 3 o'clock p.m. How are we feeling? Did we
That's
take a
good.
You know, those kinds of just intentional opportunities will provide you with understanding just what you said. I didn't know I was feeling as much as I was.
Yeah, yeah. Even when I have this app on my phone that it rings every 45 minutes, and it says I need to get up and move for at least 5, even though I don't do it all the time. And right now it's turned off. But but it's on my phone and it says you need to get up and move for 5 minutes. But I like that idea of coming together and talking at a specific time, because I'm an introvert and I can just stay in my space the whole time and don't have to talk to anybody. And that's not good for me. It's not good.
It's not good. And a way to help, because all of us have those introvert qualities, you know, especially in this time. One of the things I do, I'm very intentional. You know, and I'm very old school. I write down how I'm feeling right now. What is it that I feel like I'm missing to bring to that 15-minute break?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah, sometimes we'll think that it's not worthy of talking about.
That's very good. Ooh, I'm so glad I got you on the night. Ooh, sister, you smoking. Ooh, she is good. I know y'all. Give her some hearts, y'all. Y'all know she's good. She's super good. Thank you for that. And then when we talk about transition and we talk about some of the elements of transition, we got to deal with our emotions. We got to deal with the grief aspect of this, because what we had before is no longer. Even though we say we want to get back to the normal, I don't think we're going to get back to the normal that we had. We may develop a new normal, but I don't think it's going to be that normal that we had before. And we got to think about, what do we want that to look like? We gotta deal with our thought life. When we're in the middle of transition, we can't say, oh, the world's going to end today. Oh, I'm going to die today. Oh, I'm going to get the disease. Oh, I don't know what no. We got to deal with our thoughts life. What are you allowing to run through your mind? What are you saying to yourself on a regular basis? You have to change that I used to say tape that's playing in your head, but they don't even know what a tape is. So I have to say the CD that's playing in your head. You got to change what you are reciting to yourself. You gotta start changing what you're saying to yourself. This too shall pass. I can handle this. God has created me for this time. God didn't make an accident. I will survive this. I have what's in me to survive this. I have coping skills to survive this. I have a village that can help me through this. You gotta change the narrative that you're playing in your head, because this is, to be totally honest, this is not the end of us. And to also be totally honest, everybody that contacts COVID-19 does not die. Everybody doesn't die.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
I love that. So Sonya, in line with what you're saying, we have to transition from grieving that thing that we knew as normal, right? My resident classroom, I must transition.
Yeah.
How do we do that? How do we do that? You said we transition our thoughts. Some of the things I'm very, very succinct in. How do we do things? How do we transition? Am I correct to think that it is as intentional as the next hour I will spend time with music playing, with me meditating, with me soaking in positive thoughts, not go past the next hour? Is that correct? Is that a correct?
That's good. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. You have to, as you said, be intentional. We cannot go back to where we were. That's not an option. So let's be intentional about planning our future. Let's be intentional about planning our next. Let's be intentional about taking care of ourselves, even in the midst of this transition. You got to take care of yourself. You got to give yourself grace. You got to give your kids grace. They're not going to get it right. It's not going to be perfect, We're gonna, it's everybody is learning. It's like someone said, it's like we are in the airplane, flying the airplane as we're putting it together. We're all working on this together. This is new for all of us. So I would encourage you to be patient, not only with yourself, but be patient with the people that are around you, because they don't know. They are probably afraid just like you are, but they're not going to say it. They're probably just as confused. They probably just don't know what their next is, just like you, but they're not going to say it. So be kind with each other. Be patient. Oh, we missed that one, but we'll get it the next time.
I love it. I love it. And so with that, we won't say it. We're intentional about those next steps, right? The next hour, I will soak in positive music and positive thoughts. And so when we get there, we must provide that environment the next time. If we are going to get through this, how do we get to the next day? How do we transition to the next day? You purpose in your mind. I have breath. I am well right now. I will step into the next day moving forward. And how do I better that? You give an environment to figure out, how do I want to make today look, right? And so I'm saying we have to look at how we're measuring things. You said we have to be patient. That is so key. If we're not patient, we'll find ourselves measuring and grading our children by the same standards as when they were going to school physically, as when they had that physical activity outside. We need to bring it down so that we can measure and grade, so to speak, our children in a different light.
Because in reality, our children are dealing with the things that we're dealing with now. They have transitioned too, and they don't quite understand what's going on. They're used to having Miss B as their teacher, and now they got Mama as their teacher, and Mama's not the same. They're used to playing with their friends. They're used to seeing their friends during the day, and it's not the same. We got to be patient. And class doesn't have to last all day.
What are our measurements? What do we want them to come out doing? It may take 30 minutes for a class, whereas it took 50 minutes in school, right?
Yes.
We're not as qualified as those certified teachers. So we need to make our criteria look a little different.
Yes. And be open. So what? They don't want to do math first. It's okay.
It's okay.
What if they want to have recess first? It's okay. They're happy. Everybody happy. We're going to get the work done. We got all day to get this math done. And you know what? Even if you don't get the math done today, you can do it tomorrow. It's okay. Remember, they're trying to deal with this just like you are, and your patience are probably running short because you don't understand the new math. I don't either. I don't even know why they changed it, but you got to be patient. Patience is key, and give people grace, and just reassure them that we're going to get through this. Mama doesn't understand this. Daddy doesn't understand this. We're going to read this one more time, and let's see, can we figure this out together?
And I want to add this, along with being patient, parents, let's watch our words.
Yes.
Let's be careful what our children are hearing us say.
Yes.
You know, if we can, let's coin a phrase. I really don't like the time spent doing homework, but I am so grateful for the extra time that I have with you.
Yes.
Qualify those spaces.
Come on, teacher.
You know, we want them to know, yes, this is working on my patience to do this work with you because I'm not built to do this. But what I do love, what I am grateful for is the time that I have with you.
Yes, absolutely. And then parents, give them time to get used to you being the teacher. I mean, you go from mama mode to teacher mode. That's different for them. It's different for you, I know, but you are the adult. But for the baby, give them time to adjust to who you are. Because they're used to coming to you when they make a boo-boo. Now they're coming to you and you're saying, you got that wrong, you need to do that over. So it's different. So give them a little time to deal with that.
Mhm, mhm. I love that. I love that, Sonia. And so when we're changing those hats because we're wearing really many hats now, principal and mom and all of these
Yes,
other things,
yes,
make
yes.
sure that you are able to identify your own burnout when you're
Hmm.
at the end of your own rope.
Hmm.
Don't allow your child to carry that. Find you someone to be able
Hmm.
to say,
Hmm.
this is my colleague. I'm going to give her a quick call.
Yes, and that's a part of transition. When you're going through transition, you need to have a village. You need to
Hmm.
have a group of people that you can call and say, girl, this is driving me crazy. Can you help me? And your village, they won't take offense. They won't judge you. I have a group of people that I can call. They're not saying, hey, Minister Sonya. They're not saying, hey, social work Sonya. They're just saying, hey, Sonya, what can I do for you? How you doing today? They're there when I need them, even when I don't know that I need them. They're checking on me to see how I'm doing. So I remember, and I tell this story often. I remember when I was going through my divorce and I was stuck. I had been in the house. I was depressed, baby. I was oh, I didn't know what I was going to do with myself. I was getting a divorce. My two friends that have been friends since junior high, I know y'all don't have junior high anymore, since junior high came to my house and said, get up, we're going to dinner. I said, I don't want to go to dinner. They said, we didn't ask you what you wanted to do. We said what you're going to do. We're getting up, we're going to dinner. And do you know that helped me tremendously? You got to have people in your life that you can speak to, but that can also speak to you.
Paramount. You must. I love the village. Yeah. And it doesn't matter if your village is small. Put them
Yeah.
on notice. I know we're a small group here, but listen, can you give me 5 minutes today? I know I've been calling you more than normal. Give them a heads up.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just vital. You can't do this. It's impossible, or I should say really hard to do this
Mhm.
life alone. And especially with children, even though I don't have children, but I understand it takes more. And for you single parents, I don't even know how you do it without a village. You gotta have some support.
My
You can,
hat goes off. My
yeah,
hat
yeah,
goes off to them.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And also when you're dealing with transition, you gotta deal with changing your perspective. This
Mm,
is not the end of you. This is not the end of life as you know it. Or I shouldn't
mm.
say this is not the end of life. It's just the end of life as you know it.
Correct. And so for me with that, I love that. All of us have been in this place of fear
Yeah.
and holding pattern because that's what fear does, right? It grounds us in place for a moment. And once we get our breath back, I'm going to use
Yeah.
that. We get our
Yeah.
breath back. We're able to determine, as you just said, how do we get our mental, state? Where are we going mentally now?
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
have to decide. I can come out of this in a paralyzed, frozen state, or I can come out better.
Mm-hmm.
My thought is, my offering to you is think about one small aspect of your life that you want to grow in. I won't say it will be worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Your self esteem will be so much worth it if you decide on the other side of this crisis, I'm going to be better at making a choice of eating sweets. I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to be better with technology. I'm going to be better with how I speak to my children. I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to be better with time and devotion. Do that. Make that a part of your everyday life
Mm-hmm.
that you do now. And at the end of this crisis, I want you to just sit with yourself and determine if you're not exponentially better in your self worth.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Why and that's while we're in this crisis, make it work for your good. Change your perspective of how you see this. Oh, I'm not stuck in the house. This is a great opportunity for me to write my book. It's a great opportunity to get in touch with the Lord. It's a great opportunity for me to clean my house. It's a great opportunity to do those things that you say that you just didn't have time to do. This is a great opportunity for that. Use it for your good. I remember in the Bible where it says, in one instance, the Lord said, the man said, what the devil meant for evil, God turned it for my good. Use it for your good. You got to change your perspective. You cannot allow this to keep you down. You got to use it for your good.
So good. So perspective is everything. We're not, talking denial. There is a crisis.
Right.
There's a virus going on and it is dangerous and we need to take care and be well. But in taking care and being well does not mean that your outlook has to remain disease stricken.
Amen.
Look can be very health and well-being. That is what we get to.
Yes, absolutely. Use this time to write your business plan. Use this time to get to know yourself, to get to know your children. I bet your children have grown and have a point of view that you didn't even know existed. Spend time with your children. And as Vivian said, don't be foolish. Make sure you're taking care of yourself. Make sure you're making wise choices. Make sure you're wearing those masks if you have to go out. And we encourage you to stay in as much as possible because it's still here. We haven't in Georgia reached our peak yet. So I'm sorry to say that it's still here. So we must be wise in our dealings, but use it for your good. It can only, this time could be amazing if you use it correctly.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Again, it is health and well-being that we can get to. You all things in perspective. And so just to speak one more time on this, to well define what is it that I can do, because there's so much that's coming at us. What I would like for you to do when we talk about perspective, think about those things that we're hearing. I'm gonna go biblical. Faith come by hearing. And so if faith comes by hearing, other things does too, right? So limit what you're taking in as it relates to negative. Yes, the news are reporting facts, but there is a part, enough of it that we need to just shut it off, because after a period of time, it becomes repetitious. And when we continue to hear the same thing over and over, it becomes overwhelming. So I would say 10 minutes of news at whatever time of the day that you do, know that you've had your fill. Keep it in perspective.
Absolutely. You don't need to look at the news 24/7.
No.
It's just not helpful to you. You get agitated, you get into worry. It's just not, especially for your babies. They don't need to be looking at the news. They can get their news from mama and daddy.
Absolutely. And I think that's a great point, Sonya. That's a great point, because what you want to do is to be able to explain it to them in the language that you want them to hear. Right. The news is going to give it to you in death tolls and infected and this and that. And as parents, we can put that a little softer to our children. And that's a great point.
Right. So I want to give you a couple of strategies so for supporting your children during this time. I didn't create them, but I did find them, and I want to share with you these things. We need to acknowledge fears and be real with our kids. We need to be honest. We need to be age appropriate with our children. We need to help manage the news intake, as Vivian just said. They don't need to look at the news. You can speak to them. It's okay to be curious with them. Ask them about what they're hearing. Ask them about what they're thinking. Respond to their questions with facts, okay? And then your presence and attention are key. Just be with them. Be available for questions or expressions of emotions. You just be there for your kids. And then routine. Routine is so important. It is just so vital. A regular time to eat, to sleep, to bathe, to do homework. Keep your routine as much as possible, even though it may not be the routine you had when you were going to regular school, but it's okay to establish a new routine and keep that. I know that the high school kids have to be to school at 7:15. I know they don't want to keep that routine. Establish a new routine and keep it.
Absolutely. Yeah, all of those things are so paramount. I think routine is the key to us recognizing that there's purpose.
Absolutely. 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 Now, I would ask you, we've almost been on 45 minutes. I'm so proud because, you know, I only usually stay on about 15 minutes. I will ask you if you have any questions, go ahead and put those up for us. I want to give you a couple of numbers or some numbers that you may need. I know that since we're all home and it's you know, sometimes it can be stressful with everybody living in the house or in the house at the same time. I want you to have the number for domestic violence. If there's anything going on, if you know of anybody that needs the number, I'm not saying that that's happening with anybody that's on tonight, but I want you to have the number in case you need to give it out. That number is 1-800-799-7233. Again, the number is 1-800-799-7233. There's another number that I want to give you, and that's the Child Abuse for Georgia. That telephone number, that number is 1-855-422-4453. Again, it's 1-855-422-4453. That's the number for Child Abuse for Georgia. And then the number, if you are having a mental health crisis and you need additional support, GCAL, that number is 1-800-715-4225. Again, it's 1-800-715-4225. And I guess, Vivian, since we hadn't gotten any questions, let's close with a little bit talking about some things that we can do when anxiety presents itself.
Once again, and I want to thank you for the opportunity to share. I was hoping for questions, but in the event, hopefully we've given some food for thought. But anxiety is real. That's the first thing. I don't want to downplay that. It is real.
Yes.
But anxiety is manageable.
Yes.
So that if in and of itself, if you feel like it is so big that you can't talk about it, I want to give you the fact that it is manageable. Acknowledge that you have it. Talk to someone about what you're feeling.
Yes.
If you are overwhelmed or you're just feeling dread and you can't keep those thoughts out of your mind, tell someone that. Talk to someone. And again, recognize that it doesn't have to be to the degree where it is, detrimental, but you don't want to live in a place where you completely feel like you're on 10. So talking to someone is the very first step. If it's an anxiety that is absolutely rendering you where you cannot get through your day, you cannot enjoy normal activities, I would ask that you would reach out to a helping person to let them know just to the degree of what the anxiety is doing to you. You don't have to live like that. But the thing, if I can leave with you anything, it's manageable and it's nothing to be, I won't say be afraid of, but definitely don't be ashamed of it.
Yeah, that's very good. For some of the minor, that's not the word that I want. Some anxieties that's not as intense, and you need something to ground yourself. I would encourage you to breathe in and out. Just breathe. And then there is a rule that's called the 3-3-3 rule. Find 3 things that you see.
I like that.
Find 3 things that you hear. Find 3 parts of your body. What it's doing, it's grounding you, it's bringing you back. And anxiety helps you will want you to focus on the future. But what you need to do is just focus on where you are right now.
Mm-hmm.
Also, do something with your body to ground you. Some of the things that you need to do is stay away from sugar. When your anxiety starts, stay away from sugar, caffeine, and alcohol. Those things can aggravate the anxiety. Also, when you're having anxiety, go and write, or walk it off, or get a drink of water, or as Vivian said, talk to someone. There are many things that you can do that can help bring you down, or to help bring balance, or to bring you back when you're having anxiety. But if the anxiety is, as Vivian said, so unmanageable, I would encourage you to immediately talk to someone. Immediately talk to someone, because that tape that's going in your head is not giving you an opportunity to rest. It's not giving you an opportunity to look at reality.
Mm-hmm.
That tape that's playing in your head, you become so anxious. I would encourage you, when that happens, fact check. Check those thoughts as being fact check. Is what's been playing in your plate in your
Mm-hmm.
head, is that actually the truth? Is the world actually going to come to an end today? Do you know that for a fact? So start checking what's going on in your head, and then get a second opinion. Call your village. Call your village and say, girl, these thoughts are running through my head. I need your help. And they can help ground you.
Absolutely.
Anything else before we depart? Thank you all so much for joining us. Vivian, it has been an absolute honor to have you on. You are such a wealth of information, and I am so glad that I know you as my friend.
I am grateful. I am grateful. Sonya, if I can leave this one other thought for anxiety, stay in a space of gratefulness.
Yes.
Gratefulness will decrease anxious thoughts. As Sonya was saying, name 3 things. Name 3 things you're grateful for.
Yes.
I am an outdoorsy kind of person, and when kind of rooms kind of start to come in on me, or darkness start to feel, I will find the middle of the day and lift my head to the sky so that I can feel the sunshine on my face. You will oftentimes hear me say, I need to feel the sunshine on my face.
Wow.
I'm grateful for those small things. It decreases anxiety. I am grateful, my friend. I am humbled and honored. I hope that we can do this again real soon.
Oh, baby, you hadn't said anything but a word. Girl, get ready, boo.
This has been so much fun.
So before we get off, are there any more questions you have? Are there any questions, anything you want to say? Yami said this was good. She calls you her mentor. Thank you, Pastor Clark. Don Clark was on here. They took very good notes. My very good friend Sharon, the girl I told you about, we've been friends since middle school. She was on here. One of our co-workers, Janice, thank you all for joining us tonight. Thank you, Cretia Hobbs Johnson, for joining. My niece. Thank you, Danielle again. Kevin, thank you for being on. Redonia, thank you all for being on tonight. Patria, thank you for being on. Tavis has a book about dealing with children, so we may have her on and we'll talk a little bit. I think I don't see any questions, so I think we will end now, you all, and look for another time of sharing in about 3 weeks. All right, y'all have a good night. Y'all stay safe. Stay safe.
Yes.
Stay safe. And you know what? I know that this is not a spiritual thing, but I'm going to end in prayer.
Yeah, sounds good.
Father, we thank you so much for this time, God. We thank you for who you are in our lives. We thank you, Father, for how you are protecting us and how you're keeping us. Even in the midst of the storm, oh God, you are still our keeper. You are our provider. You are our protector, our hope, our trust, our faith, our confidence is in you, oh God. All of our eggs are placed in your basket, oh God. If you don't do it, it cannot be done. Father, I ask you, oh God, to protect everybody that's listening tonight, oh God, even as it is replayed for some that will come back and listen later, oh God. Give them wisdom, oh God, as they navigate this new space that we're in, oh God. I thank you, Father, that they will use divine insight before they make decisions about going out. I thank you that they will seek godly counsel before they make decisions, oh God, about their next move, about or what you want them to do. I pray for every person that has a young person that's on tonight, oh God, that our young people are protected, that they don't make any silly decisions, oh God, about trying stuff. God, I thank you for protecting them, protect their minds, oh God. I even pray for Vivian, oh God, as she navigates this new place she's in as it relates to teaching, oh God. I thank you for wisdom, God. I thank you for favor. And even I thank you for a person that will come and assist her with her as she navigates this new place that she's in, oh God. I thank you, Father, for Vivian. I thank you for her husband and her son, oh God. I pray for protection around them all, oh God. I thank you, Lord, for tonight.
Yeah.
Be with us, oh God, as we navigate this new place. In Jesus' name, amen.
In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Thank you again. Thank you. A blessing, a blessing. Be well.
Be well. Love you.
Love you more.
Oh, bye-bye.
Good night.